Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, or wherever you are, depending on where you are. Today we're going to talk about steps to buying your first rental property. The reason is anything in life, the first move is the hardest, right? And we always encourage you to go for real estate investment and rental property and be a real estate investor and all that. But where to start? And there's all this anxiety builds up before you make a big move, because real estate investment is a big investment or big commitment, because it's your hard-earned money that you're going to put down as your down payment, and it's a big deal. It's a lot of money. So this anxiety builds up, and a lot of risk is involved, and never done before, and this is the first time. So what are the steps that you have to do in order to get there, or even after that? Probably be able to cover all that. Let's see what we can cover during a very short period of time. And the expert is on the other side, like I always say. Venkat, the floor is open for you, and I'll chime in whenever it's needed.
Right, guys. Yeah. So, like we said, like if you have like say let's say 10 rental property, right? So you could probably retire. That is kind of
Right,
you
right.
could
That's
retire and just from the rental money you're getting maybe cash flow, not even the rental, right? Take the rent, like you get $2,000 rent, maybe $1,500 is your mortgage, everything included. So you have $500 cash flow every property. 10 houses, $5,000, guys. If you look at if you want to live comfortably in US, $60,000 a year is the amount that most people say that it's net income they can live comfortably, like even including traveling, having families, and all those things. $5,000 a month is a good amount of money for a family of maybe three or four, and that should be good enough. So think about having the 10 rental property, but if you if you want to have 10, you need to start with the first one,
right.
right? So how do you go about it? The first thing is you need to have your own property, like you need to have your own house living in there at least for a year.
You mean
I
like
would
the
I
primary property, right?
Yeah, I would highly recommend that because most people they are living in apartment. You don't want to be buying a rental property. You are paying rent to the somebody else, right? Yeah,
Right.
like I would
Makes sense,
advise
right?
you to buy that first, the primary home, live in there for a year, and understand what is the home ownership means to you, right? Some people don't even like it. Some people don't want to plunge the toilet, right? And it's they don't
Right.
even know what to do with that, like
Yeah.
if it's not flushing, right? So if is it for you? First of all, try to find out, right? It's not like you go other people are telling you that's going to give you a lot of money, cash flow, and you can retire. That doesn't mean that you will be liking it, right? So first you need to know whether you can able to manage
Yeah.
it or not, you will be liking it or not. So just get into your primary home, buy a home. It could be anything like townhome, condos, anything. Just move into your home. And also the lenders, if you want to buy a property, rental property, lenders will require you to be having a primary home at least for a year. That is kind of a requirements for most of the lenders. Unless you go with the private lenders, they could charge you like 8-10% interest rate. They don't care about what whether you have a house or not, right? So I think the bases are covered right now, and then you need a 20% down payment, 20 to 25% down payment for the rental property if you're going with the loan, guys. So I would encourage you to go with the loan. Buy property from other people money, right? Invest, like you put only 20% of it, but 80% of the majority of them coming from lender, the bank,
Lending.
right? Think about it. Where else you can do that? Can you go buy a stock, Apple stock? Can you only put 20% of it and Apple puts 80% of it? You can do it with the option trading, but you have to borrow the money to trade it, right? But that's kind of risky. Here, the value goes up. There are 5 different benefits, more than 5 different benefits of the real estate. With the 20%, whatever you're putting in, the 80% you're borrowing, the anything that goes up, that's yours to keep, right?
Yeah.
It's not like, and then the monthly payment is always same. All 30 years is fixed, right? So that's another thing. So you need to get into the first rental property. That's kind of first primary home. Then
Primary home. Yeah.
that's going to give you the ways to buy the rental property. For the to find the rental property, once you get into the primary home, right? So you would know the neighborhood. That same neighborhood, I would encourage you to look for a rental property, another property which is very similar to yours, or maybe a townhome, maybe a condo within nearby your places, so you can kind of take a look at it, manage it once in a while,
Easy access.
if it's needed, right? And mostly the new construction is, that you should buy it so that you wouldn't have any kind of issues for long term, right? At least for 10 years, 5 to 10 years, you wouldn't have any issues. And yeah, 20%, have the 20% payment, and then go to the new construction town, homes. Look, ask directly to those agents over there, and they should be able to show you a lot of property. Otherwise, hire a real estate agent. They can able to help you around, show you multiple rental properties that you can buy.
And Venkat, I don't know if this is on your list, but finding the right builder also matters, right? Because there can be some real issues with certain builders and even certain lenders. Like when you're shopping around, make sure that you find the right builder too, because that
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
really costly mistake that if you don't choose the right lender and also right builder,
That's
because
true.
we're lending
Yeah.
money, like you're dealing with your money and with these numbers, and you're confused, and last minute surprises with the lenders, and because of that, please go with your preferred lender if you have some experience working with certain people. That's great. And also the builder, there can be
Right.
some
But
with
you can actually look for three different three different lenders. Compare those loan estimates they would give you for your credit history, right? Based on your credit report, they would give you three different options. Three actually, ask for different options from each lender. Same options with the other lenders, two other lenders, so you could compare and contrast those numbers. We talked about APR to the rate. Just compare those two numbers also, just to get an idea how good each one is. And then once you decide on the lender, once you decide on the neighborhood, once you decide on the realtor, all these things, decision you have to make in the beginning. Then basically you have to save a lot of money, right? And you 20% calculate based on if you want to buy $200,000, then you have to save $40,000. It could be $45,000 because you have a closing cost, additional money is involved. It's closing costs around 1 to 2%, guys. So you kind of decide, based on that. Then save that money. As soon as you save, probably 3 months before you would think you would have that money, you start looking for the house, right? Because normally it takes time. And then you go through the realtor and then get that property signed, buy the property, and then start, like we talked about a lot of how to list the house for rental in Cozy, apartments.com, Zillow, rental manager, MLS, all these avenues out there, Facebook marketplace. There's so many avenues you can list it before even you close it. Maybe 2 weeks before you close it, by the time people will be contacting you, and right after closing, you put it in MLS, and a lot of people, it gets syndicated to a lot of other websites. So that way, a lot of people will be contacting you, and just you do have to do the credit and background check and everything through those applications that we talked about. Once that is done, you kind of review their applications and then finalize it, select the candidate, let them move in, pay all this, sign the lease. Basically, you do have to sign the lease. The lease is available online. You can kind of print it out and sign it. And then our realtor can help you. Your realtor can help you with that. Once you've done all these things, and then payment, everything can be automated.
And you're specifically referring to the cozy.com, is that right? Like if you're
Cozy,
using
even Zillow Rental Manager has the one payment system, and there are other sites like there are some sites like, I think it's called it's changed now, but you can actually, the tenants can use credit cards to pay the rent, but you get the money, but pay, I think, yeah, it's called paylease.com. So lot of apartment people, they just hook up with that one, the through automated payments through credit card. But that's however they pay the credit card, it's up to them, right? It's not up to you. So yeah, that is an easy way to do it. There are multiple tools available, the software available for property management. But I would say you learn those things in the beginning to understand how it's being done, at least for a couple of properties. Then you can kind of use the property management, pay 7, 8, 10% per month.
Right, right. And thank you so much for all that information. Because just to add something, or probably you can expand on, I know we are kind of cutting very close to the time, but just before we move on with our next episode, the location, right? And if you're going for a rental property, finding the right location. You mentioned about going with the same neighborhood. That's a great point too. And rentability is very important, right? So if you're going to rent this property, it's important to know whether the particular area, if you're going out of your geographical footprint, it's really important to understand the rentability. And I think there are some kind of tricks and on Zillow or Redfin. I don't know, like you can see the recently rented out properties and the kind of rental values that they were rented out and all that, right? You want to add maybe a quick point on that?
Yeah, if you go to the Zillow, look for the for rent properties, you would see like some of the areas like very high rental, right? Rent. So you would see like one area, this area probably like $2,000. Maybe this area is only $1,000 for the same size of the. You could actually change the number of bedrooms that you are going to buy. Let's say you're going to buy 4-bedroom, 3 baths, right? Just change it and see what other people are and which area is actually getting more rent. That's most likely is the best area to buy, but the price would be kind of comparable to it. So you'd be paying more compared to the other area.
Thank you so much, Venkat. Great points, guys. And hope you guys learned something new, or kind of episode help you refresh your memory on certain things on rental properties. Like we have said at the outset, at the beginning, making the first move is the hardest one in your life. If you go for any decision in life, making the first move is the hardest. And hopefully this helped you to reduce that anxiety when you're going for your first rental property, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Until next time, it's goodbye from us.
Thank you, guys.